Yes, I know. Hi, my name is Wendy. I am the history drag queen, and yes, I have been missing for about 2.5, 3-ish months, but we're back now. If you want to know the explanation, go head over to my shorts and go watch my very brief description of why I was missing, but we're back for right now. And today, from the title of this video, you might infer we are going to be talking about why I left TikTok and the history of TikTok and the history of Wendy Weather as a drag character. And as always, Miss Wendy, what's TikTok? If you were under the age of 13 and have been living under a rock for the last half decade, it is a social media platform that pretty much has completely changed the cultural zeitgeist. It is and or was, depending on when you're watching this video, hello people from the future, how are you? And I quote, "It's a social media platform focused on short-form video content that users can create, share, and discover. Videos are often set to music or sound effects, ranging from 15 seconds to 30 minutes at length. It's known for its personalized For You feed that curates content based on user preferences and engagement with other videos." And TikTok is pretty much the main thoroughfare to anything pop culture in the modern zeitgeist. I mean, you've got your straight old memes, you've got your iconic catchphrases that come from it, you have your iconic funny videos that everybody shares with coworkers at work. It really is the mainstream media, at least on the internet. But to discuss the history of TikTok, we're going to have to go way back to about 2014. So well over an entire decade ago. Now, the 2010s were a very different time, and I know because I was there as a pretty fully formed adult. Yes, I am very old. No discussion on that. And I think in the 2010s, especially mid-2010s, lip syncing became a really popular trend. And I think lip syncing got popular not to be self-referential, but because of the mainstreamification of RuPaul's Drag Race. And a main thing about RuPaul's Drag Race at the end of the episode during the elimination, 2 drag artists battle it out in a lip sync battle. Lip sync for your life, the whole 9 yards, please perform for the children. And with the drag race boom that was happening in the mid-2010s, that aspect of it, lip syncing and basically doing drag, kind of got really popular in other atmospheres of media. So much so, there was an entire TV show called Lip Sync Battle that spawned from late night from, I think, Fallon, who used to do this lip sync bit after Drag Race became popular, and it was a thing. Lip syncing became a thing, especially in mainstream culture. As for drag and queer people, Diva, that was a Tuesday brunch spot. We did. Anyway, which brings us to the brand new craze of lip syncing apps or lip syncing applications. So the users of these apps would be able to lip sync to their favorite song or favorite catchphrase by using the interfaces that makes it easier for people to lip sync by slowing or speeding up sounds. But the app that we're going to focus on is actually Musical.ly, which turns into TikTok later down the road. So Musical.ly was founded and created in 2014 as an educational app in China to help kids tutor for things. Well, it didn't do very successful, it was not successful at all in that regards. So they pivoted and went on the bandwagon of putting the lip syncing craze into this app, and it became pretty much Musical.ly of what we know it as it was. And they completely ditched this educational aspect of the app. After they did that, it exploded in popularity. It was being used in Europe, the Americas, everywhere was downloading this app. And it created a new subgenre of influencers that were able to get noticed by companies and people across the globe way more conveniently than usual other applications and social media platforms. Now, to preface all this, short form content really took off in the 2010s because of apps like Vine and things. So just to preface that, And the rise of short form content in the 2010s is probably going to be studied for decades. I'm very serious, but I digress. Now, when talking about short form content, especially in the Americas, you can't really talk about TikTok or Musical.ly without even mentioning Vine. Vine was a social media platform based in America that allowed the users to create a 7-second short form video. Vine was founded and created in 2013, and I think it officially ended in 2016/17-ish. And its whole thing was this 7-second video that would auto loop, giving people a platform to share a comedy skit or a slice of life video that was really successful, honestly. And people were able to build their own communities on Vine and get fame and popularity. Several of the modern day influencers of today, all of them pretty much got their start on Vine or early Musical.ly or early TikTok. But unfortunately, Vine did shut down in 2016. And with that, left a gap in not only American social media, but also social media as a whole. And Musical.ly sought to fill that. Now, me personally, I was actually in college in 2016. Let's maybe not do the math there. And all of me and my friends, we all had Dub Smash and Musical.ly and all the lip sync apps, and we would make, dumb little videos with each other and send them to each other. It was a whole thing. It was very much one of those you had to just be there type of moments. And I was kind of on Musical.ly before it transitioned into TikTok. And when it transitioned into TikTok in 2018, I just really posted little dumb skits, stream of consciousness videos, or my little art videos I used to do way back when, if you really started digging through my old social medias. Then 2020 happened. And the only way the world could really connect with each other was through social media and the internet. And TikTok was really the main place people could do that because they could share videos, they could talk about their day. It was a whole community-based platform that just took off. Especially in the aspect of the global pandemic, where the world was completely severed communication-wise and you couldn't go out or do things. Social media became the way to connect with anyone. Now, flashback a little bit to 2019. So let's flash back a little bit to 2019, Halloween to be exact, where I did drag for the very first time. I had always wanted to do drag, but was way too scared to even try. So on Halloween, I was like, you know what? It's, everybody's getting sicky. It's the precipice of the global pandemic, whatever. I'm a stay-at-home person anyway. I got a bunch of really bad makeup from the Dollar Tree, and I had a couple old wigs from an old prop box from film school, and thus Wendy Weather was born. And about 1 or 2 months after lockdown started, I started to feel comfortable to post myself in drag. And I mostly did comedy lip sync videos and very awful bad makeup transition videos. So yeah. And back then, the user number was actually incredibly low. So 100,000 views was certified viral back then. And 20,000 views was definitely notable. And I had gotten 20,000 views on an interesting video. I had posted a video with the Coraline song that's at the end of the credits of Coraline, that fun, lively little ghosty song. That's technically, fun fact, gibberish, and that's what the video was. It was a fun fact video about that song being gibberish, and I was in kind of weird bad punk drag. And it had gotten 5,000 or 6,000 views in a day. And I had never gotten any interaction like that on TikTok ever. Ever. It was just literally me connecting with some of the friends I had over TikTok through, the pandemic. I didn't think, it would even reach people that I didn't even know. And so I started to think. And we're gonna flash back to a little bit later to about 2014-15. So, fun thing to know about me, I actually went to college to be a history teacher. Connecting the dots now. Yeah, so I went to college to be a history teacher, and about my junior year, I realized I don't think I have the strength to teach young youth. I don't think, that's not for me. Absolutely not. I can't. And then, oh, well, you can teach higher ed. That's another 4 years and like 40,000. I don't have, no ma'am. And then also the pressure of like molding other people's mind. No, that's so stressful. So I switched departments and completely declared a different degree everything. And that was to my other passion, which was film and like media and TV. So I technically got a film and TV production degree under the umbrella term mass communications, which is basically anything to do with media, anything. And I learned how to have a production brain, and I wanted to be a producer or writer for a big production company when I graduated college. I had made a plan to save up enough money for about a year, maybe half a year, and move wherever I need to go to do that. But in the meantime, while I'm working and saving all this money, I'm going to apply to all the production companies, go ahead and just have my name out there. Like, I'm going to go ahead and to start casting my net. I'm going to start applying to everywhere. And after a colossal wave of 87 no's, yes, 87 production companies, from big top companies to little, indie corporation companies, they said no ma'am, sorry. After 87, I still had not applied to the pristine, this is the one I want to work for, this is my dream company. Still hadn't, because I was too scared. And I made a declaration to myself. I said, if they told me no, it's over. I'm gonna abandon that dream. It's done. And at the time, I was actually living with my older brother. Some of you may know he does farming and slice of life videos on social media. And without him, I wouldn't have had the confidence to actually go ahead and just apply to that big company. And so I did. They told me no. Now, to preface this, I will not tell you what this company is, because if they emailed me any type of anything, or even to collaborate with this company at all whatsoever, I would drop what I'm doing and sprint to that company. Because I hopefully would love to work with them somehow in the future of my career of doing whatever this is. Hello. So we're just gonna not say who that company is, because I'd go work for them in a heartbeat, but I digress. Flash forward to what I was thinking. 2019, 2020, living with my brother at home, letting loose, doing drag, reconnecting with my child self who loved to play dress up. Having the most I could during the pandemic. Mixing that with this new social media field that I didn't even think I would even end up in at all whatsoever, I started to think. I wondered if drag could help me creatively heal some trauma of not being picked by all these production companies, and kind of not being picked in general. That's kind of a theme in my life even to this day, which I have done numerous therapy. It's a thing. It's I'm chill with it. Of course, I'm used to it. Cool, great. But maybe drag and this social media thing could help me kind of heal some of that creatively. So my favorite thing is history. It was before everything. Love history. My other favorite thing is drag and doing production fun things. So after that Coraline video with the fun fact happened, I said, what if those two things were one and the same? And a huge light bulb went off, and I started doing the thing that 88 production companies told me no for. I started producing me. If no production company wanted me as their producer or writer, I'll just be my own. I started with what I wanted to do, which was help people learn history. And then the second thing, the avenue I wanted to do it in, I wanted to do it in video format, in the vein of drag as the face of it. Then, at the time, TikToks could only be 1 minute long. One. So, I had my time slot. I took the first half of lockdown to write script and produce history videos, in some of the first history videos you see of Wendy weather. And then I started posting them, I think in early May of 2020. And back then I would bulk film a lot. Actually, a lot of social media people bulk film a lot of videos. I even still do it to this day. But if you go back, the first like 20 Wendy weather videos I filmed all within about 2-ish weeks. Like around the first 20 Wendy weather videos were all done like within a week and a half-ish. Then I moved to a completely different state to where I had lived at before. And then I started just regularly producing content and doing that, and started to get an idea of, oh, I'm on to something because my views are going crazy. Then in 2021, TikTok started the Creator Fund, which was a thing. Now, if I were to pick like a year of like golden era Wendy weather, I'm probably gonna actually say 2021 to 2022-ish, because I had went viral several times, like at least 3 or 4 times. And it was very apparent that after this creative fund was created and I went viral several times afterwards, TikTok is not actually paying its creators pretty much anything. For perspective, to this day, after writing, producing videos on TikTok specifically, because I put all my eggs in that basket, which we'll get to that later, all that time, I got, rounding up, $75. $75 for about 4, 5-ish years of content. Yeah. And I was a average mid-sized creator. I had over 75,000 followers. My views were getting well over the tens of thousands of views. I had a very solid, following. There was no reason I should be getting pennies on the dollar. That's crazy. Whereas other content people who had one viral video were getting $600 for that video alone. I'm like, what is going on? What is happening? But then back then at the time, I had started to fool myself of oh, well, I just need to work harder. I just need to work harder. I just need to do more videos, just pumping them out, boom. Don't do that, because that leads to burnout, which is why I take so many breaks now. Not because I'm being affected by burnout, but because I don't want to get burnout, right? But I digress. At that time, I started to lose myself personally. Creatively, Wendy in 2021, 2022 was doing great, gangbusters, amazing, wonderful, awesome. Me, out of drag, I think I maybe posted a video about it, but I was going through a very horrendous, horrible breakup. Probably the worst horrible breakup that I'll have in my entire life. It was bad. And me mentally, horrible, terrible, awful, having a hellaciously horrible time. So that era, whilst great for Wendy, completely awful for me. Personally, outside of the wig. Ooh. So I took a break for a while, and then 2023, the whispers, the first little whispers of TikTok being banned and other things like that were happening. So I started to think. I started to examine my social media and me doing this whole social media production influencer type of deal. I had made the biggest boo-boo, the boo-booiest of boo-boos that anyone could make, which is put all of your effort and content into one singular platform, i.e. TikTok. And that is when I started to explore of like, oh, I have not been cross-promoting anything. Also, TikTok isn't treating me super nice right now. Then, in 2023 as well, TikTok Shop was rolled out and announced and done. That is when I officially completely checked out. I am so sorry. Whoa. That is when I checked out of TikTok mentally as a creator. I was nope, boom, Because then rolling out TikTok Shop, they were prioritizing people who were peddling goods, merchandise, things like that. And were not allowing like content to be highlighted by other different people, like even comedy skits, things like that, weren't being like pushed out by the thing that we can't say that starts with the letter A and ends in ism. Anyway, because from my perspective as a creator, the content I make is educational content, and it is not conducive to peddling merchandise and or goods or affiliate links. And if you aren't playing that part of the game, your content and your social media is not going to be pushed out there for people to see. I started to think, one, I don't think TikTok is a good place for me as a producer anymore. And two, I think I'm outgrowing TikTok creatively speaking. So Wendy Weather, like old school Wendy Weather videos, were actually around about 3 to 5 minutes. And just to put on like my production person hat, vertically, so a 3 to 5 minute video vertically does not have a great user like viewer retention rate because of the psychology of vertical video format, you scrolling on your phone. And you are not programmed, literally from the last half decade, short form video content, hello, you are programmed to scroll that video. Like you are not programmed to sit there and watch that whole 5-ish minute video of me talking about history. Some people did, thank you, love ya. But psychologically, people don't, like, they're not watching that whole video vertically, you know. Whereas a landscape video format, you usually have it on your phone sideways, like either you're eating, you're hanging out with your family, or hi, I'm on your television set. Mwah. And you're wanting to enjoy and ingest this content specifically for a decently distinguished longer period of time. Not only that, but a lot of my like educational content creator like mutuals and friends were also leaving the platform. They were leaving the platform in droves. They were starting their own podcasts, writing books, starting foundations. And honestly, I started to think, Wendy Weather really isn't set for like vertical short form content. She really is like pretty much like primed for video essay format, which is what I do now and fits way better than the 3 minute, 5 minute vertical like TikTok video. And so I started to think about transitioning into YouTube, where I am probably going to fit pretty okay. And more whispers of TikTok maybe being banned in the future. So I was just like, let me take as many of my eggs as I can. And I'm going over here. I'm so sorry because that platform is not conducive to me as a creator or producer. But this one who has been here for probably the app that you're watching this on, which is YouTube, for a very long time and notoriously has always treated its creators very nicely. So I did just that. I transitioned over to here on YouTube where you're watching me probably. Love you for doing that, by the way. And I started doing that in October of 2024. I started porting over all of my TikToks into shorts, and then I started with the, fan favorite spooky history. And starting it here and just, completely, really, honestly, abandoning TikTok creatively and only really using it for cross-promotion and cross-platform purposes. And I just started posting here regularly on YouTube when I could. Over the last 5 years, I have researched, scripted, and produced over 400 history videos and have amassed millions of views. My videos have been used in classrooms across the globe, from universities, Ivy League colleges, and just regular public classrooms. I've made specific videos for teachers' lesson plans, and I have performed for museums. Wendy Weather isn't going anywhere anytime soon, and I am very proud of what TikTok has given me, which is, finding myself as a producer and drag artist and doing this in a video essay format. And I am proud that I have inspired and educated millions of people in the past 5 years. And my life the past couple months personally has not been super awesome. Again, please go check out that short of where I explain where have I been, where I've actually been and what's been going on. So don't forget to check that out. And yeah, that is the video. And that is why I left TikTok and probably will not return to TikTok in the capacity that I ever once was over there. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm only gonna post like maybe fun little media videos or something like that, but I'm not gonna be posting like full history video content over there anymore. I'm sorry. And I hope you guys are looking forward to more video essays and historical content from me. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stick around because you just might learn something.